Must be St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, man. St. Patrick's Day is crazy, man.
Foxy's a little...
Why am I not using a tripod today?
I don't know. Of all the days not to use a tripod.
Hey.
Hello world, and once again, welcome to another episode of the Maxx Super Awesome Comic Review Show. Sorry that I missed you all last week. I know you were terribly heartbroken about the whole situation. But as my friend Foxi may have filled you in on, world domination, not really a hobby, more of a full-time job.
There's a lot of organizational elements.
Nobody told me it was going to be so much work. Anyway, so I'm going to leave you in Foxi's more than capable hands for the top 5, but this week there was so many amazing graphic novels that came out that we just had to have like a full little mini segment about only graphic novels. First up on that list, Warren Ellis, not a new series, but 2 older series collected into one beautiful deluxe edition hardcover. It is the Ocean Orbiter hardcover. So if you like science fiction and you like mysteries, Warren Ellis is probably a household name for you. But if that's something you haven't read before, I would highly recommend picking up this book. You get 2 amazing stories.
I like them both more than a lot of what Ellis is doing now. This is in his like peak period.
Yeah, this is probably how he got known for being like a hardcore science fiction writer.
Totally. Yeah, and they both really deliver the goods. So
next up on our list of graphic novels from Marvel, we have Miss Marvel Volume 2. All the fun and excitement of Volume 1 still continues. It's a romp of a good time. In Volume 2, Miss Marvel squares off with the Inhumans and learns a little bit more about herself.
Lockjaw!
Yeah, and Lockjaw.
Lockjaw!
I can't believe so many people were like, I can't read this book anymore. There's that stupid dog on all.
What? Are you kidding?
Yeah, I was like, what? It's Lockjaw.
I'm glad no one ever said that to me because I would have bit them with my canines.
Oh man, these next 2, this is why we didn't do a top 5 for graphic novels, because there's no way to determine how which one is more amazing than the other. But Lazarus Volume 3 is out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've talked
a little bit about all of that arc.
Yeah, so it's out in paperback. You should definitely check it out. It's wonderful. Also now fully done with its 2nd arc and gearing up for a 3rd arc, which will take place directly after this paperback. We have Deadly Class Volume 2. The end of the 2nd arc, I think, is probably my favorite Deadly Class issue. It was like non-stop action. It was I think a #1 the week it came out. We talked about it at length, but
I think you should still do a reading as Grandpa of some of those lines.
Oh, you're probably right.
We'll do a blooper reel this week.
Oh, well now don't make me get out my stick. The next one flew a little bit under the radar, but we did review it a couple of times when it first came out. It is Brian Michael Bendis's The United States of Murder, Incorporated, Volume 1 hardcover. Really cool series. Takes place in like an alternate world where organized crime has taken over sections of the United States as like the legal, recognized government. And so, you know, things ensue that involve criminal elements. It's a great story. And in this
alternate timeline, were both of the World Trade Centers standing still?
Yeah. No, the trade towers didn't get hit.
I'm just going to make a really bad comparison and say this is somewhere between Lazarus and Ex Machina then.
Yeah.
As written by Brian Michael Bendis, so lots of talking heads, which if you're into Bendis, and I am, it's awesome.
Yeah, but really fast-paced action too. It's not like talking heads. I mean, this is something that Bendis is great at. Sometimes talking heads totally bog down a story and you just get bored with it. Bendis' talking heads move the action right along and are witty and funny enough that they're excellent. And then last on my list for graphic novels that came out today, it is Baltimore Volume 5, The Apostle and the Witch of Harju. We definitely reviewed one of these issues, the one involving the werewolf. If you are not reading Baltimore, you should read Baltimore if you're into like cults, world domination,
monster hunters.
I mean, the Baltimore universe is so rich and so deep with so many great twists and turns and plots going on. Definitely check it out. And Volume 5 is a sweet addition to that series. Well, that's going to do it for all my graphic novels this week. Foxy will be up next with the top 5 for the week, and I will see you all next week. And until then, I hope you all had a very safe and very happy St. Patrick's Day. Stay frosty.
Yeah, you stay frosty.
I will stay frosty.
Get out of here. And then there was one. And that one was me. Alright. So, let's do this top 5 thing, right? Right? Alright, here we go. Coming in at number 5, we've got Little Nemo returns to Slumberland. Issue number 4, the final issue of the first story arc of this return to Slumberland with a new Nemo. You're not really gonna get better art in a comic single issue this week. This is, man, Gabriel Rodriguez is just murdering this thing, like beyond killing. It's malicious. He's so good. I would like some more character development. Kind of a lot of fantasy, not a lot of grit to it. But, you know, there's some grit coming up in the top 5, so don't worry. Number 4, we've got Silk, issue number 2. Robbie Thompson continues to impress me with his characterization. And Stacey Lee's art. Awesome. It's like, I feel like I'm watching a really cool cartoon. It's awesome. Coming in at number 3, we have a new series from Image Comics, Invisible Republic. Written by Gabriel Hardman and Karina Bechko, and with all the art by Gabriel Hardman. Wow. This team, you know, not surprising that they're married. They work together well. They solicited this one as like Blade Runner meets Breaking Bad. Parallel stories of a journalist writing about the past that he's uncovering through these old journals that he found. It's cool stuff. I'm excited to see where it goes. Hard to say where it will at this point. Coming in at number 2, we've got another new series from Boombox, Giant Days, issue number 1. Really cool. I've never heard of this creative team at all, but it immediately gives me a very strong Scott Pilgrim-esque vibe. Very, very strong characterization, really funny dialogue, really great cartooning. Fantastic. Would have been number 1, except that number 1 this week is from Dark Horse, Raphael Albuquerque and Mike Johnson's 8, issue number 2. Wow! This book is just clicking, man. They're really doing it. There's 4 different colors at the beginning of both issues now. They orient you with green is the past. I don't know. There's 4 colors though, and it seems like a mental exercise, but then when you're actually reading it, it just clicks. These colors really do add a layer to the comic reading experience. It just works. It snaps in your head, and even though there might not be a transition in the form of writing, the dialogue or whatever, just the color shift in the background makes all of the difference in like what the context of the scene is. Really cool idea. Raphael Albuquerque, great artist, and it would probably be silly to talk about Raphael this week without mentioning also the Batgirl controversy with the cover. I think Rafa made a good move on asking DC to pull the variant cover that DC hired him to do for the Cam Stewart, Babs Tarr Batgirl. I personally think it's a good piece of art. I personally never read any sexual abuse into the Killing Joke, but I see where that's interpretable, and I think it's cool to avoid upsetting people with that. Also, I don't think it fits the tone of the series, and I totally get the creative team behind that book not really feeling that cover anyway. So, that's my 2 cents. I will say that the Twitter sphere is a little hard to deal with. I think that people's opinions are great, but they need to respect artists, and they need to respect everyone else's opinion too, you know. Everybody's got an opinion, just like a butthole. And with that, I bid you a fond farewell. Max already told you to stay frosty, so I'm just going to get the hell out of here.